parsha is really the beginning of the Klal Yisrael being built. A lot of things. We've got a few things that are very relevant. The Torah says, "Vayar v'yomar man nor makom hazeh ein zeh beis Elokeinu v'zeh shar Shemayim." Another story. Yaakov Avinu leaves Beersheba and he goes to Haran, and he's v'yivka b'makom. So Rashi says, Tomer Kishavar Yaakov Beis Hamikdash Madolik from Rashi brings a Chazal that first Rashi Yaakov passes over the Makam Hamikdash, right? You lo yoiv liba spalo Makam shespalo avosov, right? He says, how is it possible that I didn't daven my forefathers daven? Yagvu, I didn't stop. So ad Charan, Rashi says that he got the Charan. And then he goes back and he gets a pizza there and goes back. So he says, where it says, it's possible that I passed over the place where my forefathers davened, and that was the place where the Akedah was. Right? And he decides he wants to go back. And he goes back to Beis El, he goes back to the place, and there was pizza there. And the Sif Seichom says about the Rashi, says, yes, Rashi. He says, what happened exactly? He says, how did he pass the first time? Why? So he says, Min Shemayim, he says, Min Shemayim, they didn't stop him. And he says an interesting lotion. Even though Huatzma lo yispalel, since he didn't daven there, Min Shemayim lo yikvu, they wouldn't stop him there. They wouldn't stop him from the heavens. And kofin adam levar mitzvah. You don't force somebody to do a mitzvah. So you see a lot of kashas here. If you don't force somebody to do a mitzvah. Yaakov Avinu wants to daven where the Makam Akedah was. For sure he wanted to daven. And the truth is he gets to the car and he realized I didn't daven, I better go back. So why would it mean Min Shemayim ain't kofin al mitzvah, the mitzvah? They don't force you to do a mitzvah Min Shemayim. So what does that mean? See something very important over here. You see that if you don't want to do a mitzvah, even if Yaakov Avinu, you're so great, you're so holy, but your mind can slip for a moment and not think about it. You've been busy going to Chor, and you passed over the place. You don't think about it. Even someone like Yaakov Avinu cannot think about doing something so important. You know, today everybody runs to the kotel. Everybody wants to say, I want to daven here. And imagine Yaakov Avinu wanted to do the same thing, but he's busy going to Chor, and he's escaping from his brother who wants to kill him. So he didn't think about it. Ain't koven al mitzvah. If you don't think about it, Hashem won't help you. If you don't think about doing the mitzvah, Hashem won't help you. But as soon as you thought about it, and that's happens, it gets right back. So you see, it's a lot of things. Hashem is ain't koven al mitzvahs. It's not possible. You can't say Hashem make me do mitzvahs. Help me. You can say to Hashem help me do mitzvahs, but make me do mitzvahs. You can't say that. You can't say that Hashem will never help you make you do a mitzvah. Hashem will help you do the mitzvah, but you have to think about doing the mitzvah yourself. You have to want to do the mitzvah yourself. Until Yaakov Avinu decided he wants to do the mitzvah, nothing happened. As soon as he decided he wanted to do the mitzvah, and that's happened, Kvitza said there, got right back there. But you have to decide. It's a musar for us, a very important musar. Hashem will never put in our minds, make us think of doing a mitzvah. We have to want to do the mitzvah. We have to want to do the mitzvah, and then we'll have tremendous siyata d'shmaya. If there's a lot of obstacles, Hashem will help us do the mitzvah. But until we think about it, ain't kofin al mitzvah. Hashem will never force you to do a mitzvah. So any mitzvah say, well, Hashem will let me get up in the morning and come to davening. No, it'll never happen. Hashem will help you get up in the morning if you want to get up, but it'll never make you get up in the morning. You have to get up. Ain't kofin al mitzvah. Hashem won't force you to do any mitzvahs. You want to do a mitzvah, you have to do it. You have to put the effort in to do it. Once you put the effort in, Hashem will give you siyata d'shmaya. But if you don't try, you can't expect Hashem to help you. Once you try, Hashem will help you beyond your expectations. But if you don't even try, Hashem won't help you. Very important idea. A very interesting Rashi. Torah says, Vayikas, Yaakov Avinu has an unbelievable dream of the Malachim going up and down. I always say, you have two parshas of dreams. You have the parsha of Yosef and Miketz. Yaakov Avinu and Paro. What does Yaakov Avinu do when he gets up? He creates a mizbeach. He wants to serve Hashem. What does Paro do when he gets up? He goes back to sleep. Right? What does Yaakov Avinu dream of? Malachim. What does Paro dream of? Cows. It's an interesting difference. But anyway, Yaakov gets up and he says, "Because Yami Shana, so v'yomer achen yak she'Hashem b'makam hazeh, v'anochel lo yadati." The Hashem is in this place, and I didn't know. And Rashi says, "Anochi lo yadati, shim yadati lo yashanti makom kodesh hazeh." I would have realized how holy this place was. I wouldn't have slept here. So, Alter Shabbat has a kasha over here. What do you mean? Wouldn't have slept here? Wouldn't have this tremendous dream. The malachim going up and down, a promise that Hashem will be with you all the time. Promise of Eretz Yisrael. All the nevuah that you have in this dream, you wouldn't have had. What do you mean? You wouldn't have slept here? You would have missed all this out. Lo yashanti. So Allah says a very important thing. He says, Yaakov Avinu would have slept here. He would have given up all that whole nevuah that he had. If it's not the right thing to do, I can't do it. If it's going to cause a lot of good stuff afterwards, okay. But I can't do the wrong thing. If it's a holy place, I can't sleep in a holy place. So it's a very, very important lesson for us, that if it's not the right thing to do, how can we do something that's not exactly right? How can we do something that's not really the right thing to do? So you see two things we just said. We said, Ein kofan Hashem won't force you to do a mitzvah. You have to want to do the mitzvah. If you do the mitzvah, you'll have siyata d'shmaya. But if you don't want to do the mitzvah, you won't have siyata d'shmaya. And second of all, I have to do what's right. I can't say, well, this might happen, that might happen. It's not irrelevant. I do what's right, and if it's the right thing to do, Hashem will help me, and I can't do a thing that's not so right. Finally, it's an interesting thing. Rashi says, "Einei Leah rakos," whatever rakos means. The eyes of Leah were rakos, were weakened, we'll say. And Rashi says, "Einei Leah rakos." I have to find the pasuk. It says, "Shahaisa svura," she held lalos begarol shel Esav. In other words, she thought, and everybody said it seems, Shnei banim l'Rivka, Shnei banim l'Lavan, Gadol l'Gdol. In other words, Yaakov has two sons, Yitzchak has two sons, and his cousin Rivka, and her cousin Lavan, her brother Lavan has two daughters. So the older daughter will go to the older son, and the younger son will go to the younger daughter. So Leah says, "I'm going to end up with Esav." And she started to cry. I don't want to end up with Esav. And she was crying. She cried her eyes out. Literally, that's what Rashi is saying. The Medrash Tanchuma says a very interesting thing. It says, because of this, she was zocha for 6 shvatim, and she was zocha to Ruvain for the first of the shvatim. So you have an obvious kasha. She didn't daven for that. She only davened. She shouldn't end up in Gorel Shel Esav. She didn't want to end up marrying Esav. She didn't even daven to marry Yaakov necessarily. She just didn't want to end up with Esav. But she davened so hard not to end up with Esav, she ends up marrying Yaakov. She becomes one of the Amos of Klal Yisrael. She has 6 of the Shvatim, and she has the Bechor. So she much more than she davened for. She got much more than she davened for. She would never daven that I want half of the Shvatim. In fact, she was so, there's a Rashi tells us that she should have had even 7 Shvatim, and she davens to Hashem. I'm pregnant at the end. It's better not be a boy, because my sister Rachel will only have one child. If I have 7, she'll only have one. She'll be less than the Shvachos. The Shvachos had 2 each, so at least one. My sister has to have at least 2. So she davened to have a Dina. She got Dina instead. So you have to see what Hashem does. Hashem answers you when you daven with it. Really daven properly. Hashem not only gives you what you ask for, He gives you much beyond, more than you can imagine. And that's why Leah was zochah to half of the shvatim were hers. So very important parsha. 3 things that I just mentioned. Important Musar ideas for us in life. First of all, en kafan al mitzvah, very important idea. Most of us think, Hashem will let me do the mitzvah, I'll do it. If it doesn't, right? Hashem will only let you do the mitzvah if you want to do it, and if you try to do it. And all of us who excuse ourselves, well, I can't, it's too much, but you'll never get siyata, you won't get siyata d'shmaya. Once you try to excuse yourself from the mitzvah, you'll never get siyata d'shmaya. But as soon as you decide to do the mitzvah, you'll have the siyata d'shmaya beyond what you wanted. Yaakov was ready to walk back all the way back to Beis HaMikdash. He got Tfisa Derech. But once he realized, I made a mistake, he gets to be siyata d'shmaya. He realized also Yaakov Avinu can make mistakes, can forget something. Yaakov Avinu was the Bechir Shabbat. He's the Mushlam, he's the perfect man, he's the greatest of the Yavos. And he can forget to daven in the right place. It could happen, even to Yaakov Avinu. And you can't expect that Hashem will say, okay, that's who you are, I'm not going to help you. Ain't kofel al mitzvahs. But as soon as you realize for a moment that it's the right thing, Hashem will help you to Yad Ishmael. The second thing we just mentioned was that when he slept in his Makom Kadosh, so he realized it's not the place to sleep. At the expense of losing his entire Nevu, it's still not the place to sleep. I shouldn't have slept in this place. And you have to remember, sometimes we think, well, the ends justify the means. Most of the time, the ends don't justify the means. So sometimes there are exceptions. But something like this, if it's a Makom Kadosh, you don't sleep. Whatever I'll lose, it's set to Hashem. And the third thing I mentioned is how great power Tefillah is. So at the end of the parsha, the next week's parsha really, but I'll just something to discuss for one moment. We know that because it's tied to last week's parsha a little bit, but I'll mention this also. At the end of the parsha, or really the next parsha, Yaakov's going to confront Esav. And because I'll ask where was Dinah in this whole story, so he put her in a box because he didn't want Esav to marry her, and because I'll tell us that Hashem says that you didn't want to give it to Esav, she's going to end up being raped by Chomer, right, by Shem. So you didn't want to do something like that. You got something. So the question is, would you want your daughter to marry Esav? Nobody wanted their daughter to marry Esav. So the Alter Zebaka says that the way he put her in the box, when he closed the box, should have bothered him more. But I saw an interesting thing, and I always had a question. I'll mention this quickly, and I'm getting tired. I'm a little jet lag, so I'm going to finish early. But I had a question last week's parsha. Beginning of last week's parsha, Yisrael Sabana Bikirbo. They were fighting inside them, right? Every time she passed the base of Avodah Zarah, Esav wanted to come out, and every time she passed the base of Medrash, Yaakov wanted to go out. So. I told you I heard once from a Rebbe. This is not nothing to do with what I'm saying, which is interesting for Rebbe. Esav wanted to go out. There's a Malach learning Torah. He doesn't want to learn Torah. Why did Yaakov want to go out? There's a Malach learning Torah. So the Rebbe told me that you can have a Malach teaching you Torah, but if your roommate says so, you want to leave. It's just an aside. So that's. But the question is, I always had a kasha. If this happened in the womb, means they were predestined to be. Yaakov was predestined to be a tzaddik, and Esav was predestined to be a rasha. So it's not fair. So that's not the pshat. The pshat is that obviously Yaakov was much more involved with the ruchnius, and Esav was more involved with the gashmis. But he could have been involved with the gashmis and still be a tzaddik. And I think that was Yaakov Yisrael Avinu's mistake was that he thought that's what would happen, and he gave a bracha of gashmis to Esav. He felt that Esav would be in charge of the gashmis, Kal Yisrael. And Yisrael will be in charge, and Yaakov will be in charge of the ruchnius. And Rivka realized that Esav was beyond that; he couldn't do it. But Esav could have been a different person. And I saw, and mentioned what I just mentioned before, that I saw one of the Farshim say that who knows that if Dinah would have married Esav, maybe she would have turned him around. He could have been turned around. Maybe he would have married the right woman. He would have been turned around. He would have been a tzaddik. So sometimes you have to realize that we have potential to be one way or another way, and you got to change yourself. In other words, people have different midos. Everybody has different midos, right? Some people are more inclined to anger, and some people are more inclined to be kinder. So everybody has different midos, and every one of your midos has to be channeled the right way. You have to be channeled the right way. If Esav is more inclined to gashmis, there's definitely for gashmis. Somebody has to earn the money, somebody has to pay the bills. So you could have been that. You could have been working in the ruchnis for the gashmis stick away, and the Yaakov would have been in charge of ruchnis. Rivka realized that if we give it to Esav, it'll never work, and that's why Yaakov had to get it. So, but each one has to realize Hashem gave us different challenges and different midos, and we're supposed to use to serve Hashem with whatever Hashem gave us. Some people are smarter, and some people are kinder, and some people are different positions. Use your midah that Hashem gave you to serve Him properly. Don't ever say that if I would be a famous story. They say about Rabbi Granofsky Amsterdam. He goes to his Rebbe Yisrael Salanter, and he says, if I would have your midos and the midah and the hasmada of Rabbi Yitzchak Petterberg and whatever else he said, I would be much better than I am. So Yisrael told him, You're supposed to be Raftali Amsterdam with the brains that Hashem gave you, with the midas Hashem gave you. That's how you're supposed to serve Hashem. You're not supposed to be anybody else. You're supposed to use what Hashem gave you to be yourself. And if somebody's more of a masmid, then you have to be. You have to do what's coming to you. And if you have different midas, that's coming to you. And Yaakov Avinu obviously was the man with all the good midos, but Yaakov Avinu could make a mistake. But he was the Bechir Shemavos, he was the greatest of the Yavos. Even though he had trials and tribulations, he was very involved in Olam Hazeh. And Yitzchak was much less involved in Olam Hazeh, and he was called a Tamima. So we have to learn from Yaakov how to use our midos tovos for the right thing to serve Hashem properly. We have to realize that Hashem will help us tremendously if we put in the right kind of effort. We have to realize that we can do something wrong once in a while also. It doesn't mean Hashem will forsake us. But as soon as we turn to Him, as soon as we ask Him, so we want to do the right thing, we'll have tremendous siyata d'shmaya. And if we daven Him for sure, the siyata d'shmaya will be beyond anything we do. We have to realize that whatever we need, Hashem gave us, right? And if we once in a while overlook something, ain't kofan al mitzvahs. We have to think about it. We have to think about what we're doing, ain't kofan al mitzvahs. Now I have to say it's already. We talk about the year passing of by, and before you know it, it's Hanukkah. Ready? It's I left. It was Cheshvan. Now it's already Kislev, right? The first week of Kislev is over, and Hanukkah is coming. Hanukkah, as I say, is really the halfway point in the year. Each one of us has to ask ourselves, did I accomplish something that I accomplished even half of what I wanted to accomplish this year? If I didn't accomplish it yet, to ask ourselves, why not? Did I put in Ein Kofan al mitzvahs? I can't say, well, Hashem didn't help me. Ein Kofan al mitzvahs. As soon as you decide to do it, as soon as I put in the effort, as soon as I try, I'll tremendous siyata d'shmaya. But until then, I won't see anything. Ein Kofan al mitzvahs. I have to ask yourself, if I didn't accomplish at this point in the year what I wanted to accomplish, why not? Well, you say, well, God didn't help me with this. God didn't. No, Hashem will help you when He sees you trying, when He sees you doing it. Hashem will. It's not magic. Hashem will help you when He sees. But if He doesn't see, I mentioned a few times. Guys say, well, when I get inspired, I'll do it. Inspiration doesn't happen. You make inspiration. If you let yourself be inspired, if you let yourself say, you know what, I learned something, I heard something, and it should inspire me, it will inspire you. If you say nothing is inspiring, you will never get inspired. And as we learned in Mesil Sharm, that as we do things with enthusiasm, with zrizus, that'll ignite the zrizus in us. The guy says, well, when davening will speak to me, I'll daven. Daven will never speak to you if you don't daven. If you don't daven, it'll never speak to you. If you try to daven, and you really try, little by little, it'll start speaking to you. If you try to learn, and you really try, little by little, learning will come to you. But as long as I wait for it to come to me first, it won't happen. And that's what we learn from Yaakov Avinu. That's what we learn from the Parsha. That's what we learn from the Shalom. The way he says is that Tenua Achitzon Boris Apinivis, outward movement, outward doing will awaken inner feeling, but it's not going to happen by itself. And each one of us should ask ourselves, I leave the yeshiva for 10 days, I realize that there's a lack of ruchnius that I have in my life. And as soon as you go back, Baruch Hashem, you get it. The only way you're going to take the ruchnius with you is to want to take it. The only way it's going to work for you is I want to do it. Nothing's random. Nothing's going to happen by itself. Each one of us has to really try and connect and bring to our own lives and use it, right? There's no pill to take. Now I have Yerushalayim, and now I'll learn. There's no pill. The pill to take is to work on it, to try to have it, to try to learn, to knock your brains out over a taisvis, over a marsha, over chazanish, whatever you're learning. You know what? If you start doing that, you'll start understanding it. It's not going to pop into your head like that. If I start davening the right way, coming on time, trying to approach it the right way, it'll change me. Nothing happens randomly. Yaakov Avinu is telling us, Torah is telling us, ain't kofan al mitzvahs. There's no kofan. You're not going to be forced to do a mitzvah. When I want to do the mitzvah, Hashem will help me beyond what I expect. When I daven to Him, He'll help me beyond what I expected. Leah gets to be the mother of half the Shvatim because she cries right out not to marry Esav. But it's up to you. How many times you approach Hashem with an honesty, a real approach. and the time is flying by. We always say, "Well, I'll get around to it," and I say, "Tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow will never come." And the year is passing us by very quickly. It's already Hanukkah. We spoke about Hanukkah's coming. It's already Hanukkah. Another 3 weeks will be Hanukkah. 2.5 weeks will be Hanukkah. Right? Hanukkah is the halfway point in the year. So how many of us can say that I've accomplished half of what I came for? Half. And if we didn't, you have to ask yourself why. It's time for each one of us to decide, no, I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best. And if we do that, we'll have Siyata D'Shmaya. I just saw, I'll stop with this, I'm getting very tired. I still have jet lag. But I just saw Rav Gamliel today. He gave me a sefer on Hanukkah. And he says that we're interesting that Hanukkah is Yovan. And he says the force against Yovan is Yosef. Yosef was born in this parsha. I didn't read the whole piece and understand exactly why, but realize that we have what's in us, and Hanukkah, really mentioned the Hanukkah theme. We always think that Antiochus was the wicked guy in the Hanukkah story, which he was. But the real wicked people are the Jewish people, the Hellenists, people who wanted to reform the Judaism to be more Hellenistic, right? They want to give up. There's a modern world out here. Well, you guys are the old-fashioned ways. To realize that the message of Hanukkah is that our way wins. Our way wins the war. And Yosef Atzadik is the example against Hanukkah, against the oven. The oven is darkness. The oven is darkness. And Yosef Atzadik is telling us that even in the darkness there's light. Yosef Atzadik is in prison. He's sold as a slave, but he's able to bring himself out of it. We have a chance now. Use the power of Hanukkah coming up to push all this stuff out of our minds and put it on the right track. All the Hellenists, that are foreign influences. Part of the foreign influences is the stupid phone we have in our pockets and the stupid stuff we're exposed to. Now it's the time to say, listen, Hashem is going to help me. Ain't kofan al mitzvahs. If I don't try myself to do it, it won't happen. But if I try myself and try to push myself in the right direction, it will happen. Hashem should give us the siyata d'shmaya. Should really give us the desire and the feeling and the movement. And once we started, Hashem will guaranteed He'll help us. But until we move that direction, nothing's going to happen. So Hashem should help you. And the Mitzvah Hashem, I'll come back tomorrow and feel a little better than I feel now because I'm dead tired now. Hashem tomorrow I'll feel a little better, and we'll continue learning and growing.